the enigma of the distant isle. In the quiet hours following the storm, as the Resolute resumed her steady progress along the vast Atlantic, the air carried a subtle promise, a whisper of land yet unseen. The tumult of the previous tempest had forged an unspoken bond among the crew, and now, beneath a sky slowly clearing into gentle pastels of dawn, hope mingled with caution. Alfonso and Isabella, their spirits still alight with the memory of the storm, found themselves drawn to a phenomenon that defied the predictable currents of fate. For days, the ship sailed under a measured calm. The relentless blue of the ocean became both a canvas and a cryptic guide. The men and women aboard exchanged hushed theories about a vague silhouette spotted on the horizon, a faint, almost dreamlike line where sea and sky blurred. Some whispered of fabled islands, places spoken of in mariner legends where unimaginable treasures and ancient wisdom lay hidden. Others, like old Joan, murmured that such omens were the work of capricious gods testing mortal resolve. One crisp morning, while the crew went about the quiet rhythms of life at sea, Isabella gathered with Alfonso at the stern to study her meticulously drawn charts and celestial maps. "There," she murmured, pointing with a steady hand toward a cluster of stars that glimmered like scattered jewels against the deepening blue. "The current, and these stars, they hint at a landmass that defies our charts. I believe we are nearing an island that has long eluded the maps of even the most seasoned navigators." Alfonso's eyes gleamed with anticipation and a measure of trepidation. The very idea of encountering an unknown isle stirred memories of the mariner's log he had so cherished, a log filled with cryptic entries and half-whispered legends of lost realms and secret coves.
"If such a place exists," he replied, "it may hold not only the promise of untold riches, but also truths that could reshape our understanding of these uncharted waters."
The discussion between the two was soon interrupted by Captain Dom Duarte, whose steady demeanor exuded a mix of determination and caution. "Crew," he announced over the low hum of the ship's rigging, "our instruments suggest that we are approaching a region of irregular currents and hidden shoals. We must be prepared for anything. Lower the lookout's flag and ready the smaller boats for an exploratory row." As the resolute sailors set about their tasks, a collective excitement rippled through the deck. For many, this was not merely an expedition into geographic uncertainty, but a plunge into the realms of myth and possibility. Mestre Lorenzo, ever the sage amidst the fervor, intoned softly, "In the hearts of the brave, legends are born from the meeting of fate and curiosity. Let us be mindful that what we seek may reveal both beauty and peril." Hours later, as the sun reached its zenith, the lookout's cry rang out, a clear, piercing sound that cut through the murmurs on deck. "Land ho!" he declared, his voice trembling with a mixture of awe and urgency. All eyes turned seaward to behold a sliver of verdant mystery emerging from the horizon, a delicate curve of coastline shrouded in a diaphanous mist. The island, as it came into focus, appeared almost otherworldly. Its cliffs, cloaked in lush vegetation, rose abruptly from the sea, while the beaches were marked by strange, weathered stone structures half overtaken by nature. The sight ignited a flurry of activity. The crew scurried to ready the boats, while Alfonso and Isabella exchanged knowing glances that spoke of shared wonder and apprehension. The Resolute anchored in a calm cove near the island, where the gentle lap of waves belied the mysteries hidden within its dense foliage. With provisions gathered and a spirit of collective resolve, a select group of explorers, including Alfonso, Isabella, Captain Dom Duarte, and a contingent of trusted sailors, set off in a rowboat toward the enigmatic shore. The rowboat glided silently over the glassy surface, its oars slicing through water that sparkled in the bright sunlight. As the explorers neared the island, an almost tangible energy seemed to emanate from the land, a fusion of ancient earth and whispered secrets. The smell of damp loam and exotic flora filled the air, mingling with the briny scent of the sea. Upon setting foot on the soft, uneven sand, the group paused to absorb the scene. Before them lay a clearing marked by peculiar symbols carved into large boulders, enigmatic runes whose purpose and origin were as mysterious as the island itself. The stones, arranged in a loose circle, were encircled by wildflowers and creeping vines. It was as though nature had reclaimed an area once meticulously designed, hinting at a civilization that had both flourished and vanished into the annals of time.
Alfonso stepped forward, his heart pounding with an eagerness that bordered on reverence. These markings, they speak of a people who revered the land and its mysteries. Their language is lost to time, yet their art speaks volumes, he observed, tracing his finger over a deeply etched symbol that resembled a spiral.
A motif common in ancient lore, signifying the eternal cycle of life and nature. Isabella, ever the scholar, navigator, knelt beside him, her eyes scanning the carvings with a blend of scientific curiosity and poetic wonder. "This is no random act of nature," she murmured. "It is the signature of a once vibrant culture. We must tread carefully, for here lies the echo of generations whose stories we can only hope to understand." Their exploration led them through a narrow, winding path, flanked by towering trees whose gnarled roots grasped the earth, as if anchoring it to centuries past. Every step revealed relics of a forgotten world, a shard of pottery glazed with colors faded by time, remnants of woven textiles caught in the undergrowth, and petroglyphs that seemed to document rites of passage and celestial ceremonies. Back aboard the Resolute, the remainder of the crew buzzed with speculation. Captain Dom Duarte gathered them in the ship's small cabin, where maps were spread out and the sound of the sea provided a steady backdrop to their discussions.
"We have found something remarkable," he began, his voice measured yet imbued with excitement. "This island appears to be a repository of lost knowledge, a beacon for those who dare to uncover the mysteries of our world. But with discovery comes responsibility, and caution must be our constant companion."
While the discussion unfolded, Alfonso and Isabella retreated to a shaded alcove near the beach, where the island's quiet majesty allowed for a private reflection.
"What do you think drove this people to leave their mark so indelibly upon the land?" Alfonso asked, his tone a mixture of wonder and solemn inquiry.
Isabella's gaze drifted toward the distant treetops, where light danced with the shadows. Perhaps it was a communion with nature, a desire to understand the forces that govern our existence. Or maybe, like us, they were adventurers in their own right, explorers of the spirit as much as the land, she replied thoughtfully. Their legacy lives not in grand monuments, but in the subtle language of symbols and stories passed down through the ages. The conversation was punctuated by the gentle murmur of the wind through the leaves, a sound that, in its simplicity, carried the weight of millennia. As the day waned, the explorers gathered their notes, sketches, and precious artifacts, carefully cataloging their findings. Every inscription, every fragment of pottery, was treated as a key to unlocking the secrets of this hidden realm. That evening, under a canopy of stars unspoiled by the light of civilization, the team convened around a modest fire near the shore. The flickering flames cast long, dancing shadows over their faces as they recounted the day's discoveries and speculated about the island's ancient inhabitants.
Captain Dom Duarte, ever the visionary leader, spoke of the potential these findings held.
Not only for enriching the annals of history, but also for forging new alliances with distant cultures, should any remnants still endure. Alfonso's thoughts, however, turned inward. In the quiet glow of the fire, he felt a kinship with the explorers of old, a shared yearning to connect with the past and to understand one's place in the continuum of human endeavor.
"We are not merely visitors here," he remarked softly, "but witnesses to the enduring spirit of discovery that binds us all."
Isabella, her eyes reflecting both the firelight and her inner resolve, nodded in agreement. "This island," she added, "reminds us that history is not a fixed chronicle, but a living tapestry that we are both part of and destined to transform." As the night deepened, the explorers retired with hearts brimming with questions and minds alight with possibilities. The island, with its enigmatic symbols and silent echoes of lost voices, had opened a new chapter in their journey, one where every step forward promised to unravel further mysteries and challenge the very boundaries of known history. The following morning, with the first rays of sunlight piercing the mist, the party prepared to return to the Resolute, laden with artifacts and a renewed sense of purpose. The island's allure, both haunting and hopeful, was seared into their memories, a beacon calling them to uncover more of its secrets. They understood that their discovery was not the culmination of their quest, but merely the beginning of an adventure that would intertwine their fates with those of a people long vanished. As the rowboat glided back toward the awaiting ship, Alfonso looked back over his shoulder at the receding shoreline, a silent promise in his eyes. In that moment, amid the ceaseless rhythm of the waves, he vowed to honor the legacy of the forgotten, to seek truth in every symbol, and to forever let the call of discovery guide him through the uncharted realms of both history and the human spirit.